Shortly after the defeat of the Midianites, God told me to climb up the mountain and to look out into that land that was promised to the children of Israel. And then I was to die. I said, Holy One, if I am shortly to depart this world, I pray you appoint a new leader, someone who will know how to deal with each one according to their due, someone who will march before the people, someone who will lead them in battle. And the Holy One said to me that my successor would be someone who had served me for years with devotion, someone who knew how to deal with each one according to their due, someone who had the Spirit in them and was not afraid to face the Spirit in others. Joshua, the son of Nun, was to lead the children of Israel out of the wilderness and into the Holy Land. So I went to Joshua, and I told him all that God had said to me concerning himself. Joshua wept bitterly that I was to die in the wilderness. But finally, I persuaded him to accept the leadership, and so before all the people of Israel and Eleazar the priest, I laid my hand upon Joshua and I bestowed the Spirit into him. The day of my death, it was to be the 7th of Adar. So I spoke to all the people. I said, today I am 120 years old. I can no longer easily go in or come out. And now the Holy One has told me that I am not to cross over the river into this land with you, but God will cross over with you. God will destroy all the nations that lie in your path and will dispossess them. As God did with Sihon and Og, the kings of the Amorites, God will deliver them, your enemies, into your hands, and you shall deal with them according to the laws and commandments that I have given to you. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be in dread of them, for God will be with you. God will not fail or forsake you. And then I spoke to Joshua in front of all the people, and I said, be strong and of good courage, for you shall lead these people out of the wilderness and into the Holy Land, and you shall cause them to inherit it. God will be with you. God will march before you. So fear not, nor be dismayed. And then the Holy One told me that it was time for me to die. But I was not ready to die. I drew a circle around myself and I stood in the middle of it. I wrapped myself in sackcloth and I smeared myself in ashes. And I immersed myself in prayer and supplication until the heavens and the earth, indeed, everything that was made in the 6 days of creation was so shaken that it was said, perhaps it is God's intention to now remake the world. But the divine voice came forth and said, it is not yet my intention to remake the world. And my prayer was so strong. Do you know what God did? The Holy One proclaimed that every gate of heaven should be closed, that my prayer would not be allowed to enter, that my prayer could not come to the holy presence. And still, I prayed stronger until God commanded all the ministering angels and told them, go down, bolt the gates of heaven. For my prayer was like a sword ripping and tearing, and nothing could stop it. I said, Master of the universe, known and revealed to you is the pain and suffering I have endured to make these people, Israel, revere your name and love your name. Known to you is the trouble that I have endured to inculcate your Torah and its holy precepts. I have witnessed Israel's woe, and I will witness Israel's weal. And yet, now the time of Israel's weal has come. You say, Moses, you shall not cross over. You turn yourself into a fraud. Is this my reward? For 40 years that I labored in the wilderness to make these people love your name? And the Holy One said to me, nevertheless, Moses, the decree concerning your death is sealed. I said, Holy One, if I may not enter the land alive, I pray you, let me enter like dead, like the bones of Joseph are about to do. And the Holy One said to me, Moses, when Joseph came to Egypt, he declared openly that he was a Hebrew. Moses, when you went to Midian, you denied who you were. Well then, Holy One, I pray you, if I may not enter the land, let me remain alive as a beast in the field, that I may yet eat the green grass, drink the fresh water, and thus yet savor life. Moses, it is enough. But if not as a beast, then let me be a bird, a little bird that flies out from its nest in the morning and flies all around searching for food and then returns to its nest. Let me be a little bird. Moses, enough. And when I saw no heed was being paid to my words, I turned to the heavens and the earth, and I said, entreat mercy on my behalf. And they said, we must entreat for ourselves. So I turned to the sun and the moon, entreat mercy on my behalf. And they said they must entreat for themselves. I turned to the stars and the planets and the hills and the mountains, and I said, entreat mercy on my behalf. And they said, we must entreat for ourselves. And I then turned to the sea. Entreat mercy on my behalf. And the sea said to me, what? Why is this day so different? Son of Amram, are you the same son of Amram that came to me with your rod and smote me into 12 paths? What has become of you, son of Amram? And I felt anguish when I thought of the days when I walked like a king on earth, and now nothing, nobody paid any heed to me. Where could I turn? I remembered God, Adonai, Adonai, El-Rachum V'Hanun. God is merciful and forgiving. The Holy One turned to me and said, Moses, the time has come for you to depart this world. I said, Holy One, I beg you, do not make my life end now. And the Holy One said, Moses, since the beginning of time, every mortal must die. Moses, I have sworn 2 oaths. The first oath was that I would destroy the people of Israel. And the second oath was that you would not go into this land. I put aside the first oath when you begged and pleaded with me to forgive and pardon the people. And now, Moses, you want me to put aside the second oath? You hold both ends of the rope. Moses, if you wish pardon them to be fulfilled, then let me cross over will be denied. But if you want, let me cross over to be fulfilled, then pardon them will be denied. And I knew in that instant that I would rather Moses and 1,000 like me should die rather than the fingernail of one of the children of Israel should be hurt. I knew I was ready to die. And so I sat down and I wrote out 13 scrolls of the Holy Torah, one for each of the 12 tribes and one for the Holy Ark. And I gave them to the sons of Levi, the priests who carry the Holy Ark, and all the other elders of Israel. And I said to them, every 7th year, at the festival of Booths, Sukkot, in a place which God shall show you in the land which you are now entering, you shall read these teachings out loud, that everyone may hear. Gather all the men and the women and the children and even the strangers in your midst, that they may hear these teachings read out loud, and they may learn to revere the name of God and to faithfully observe the teachings of this law. That their children and their children's children and all the future generations who have not gone through this experience, that they should know and revere and love God in that land which they are about to enter. And then I went to Joshua's tent. Joshua was expounding a point of Torah, and several Israelites were listening, and I stood in the doorway. Others entered, and they said to Joshua, "What? You leave our great master standing in the door?" And Joshua looked at me. He tore his garments, and he said, "Master, oh, teacher Moses, come and teach us." And I said, "Joshua, now you are the master. I am the disciple." And after he finished, we walked together to the holy tabernacle. The pillar of cloud descended between us, and I could hear God's voice, but I could not understand the words. After the cloud left, I said to Joshua, "What did God say?" And Joshua said to me, "Moses, when God spoke with you, you could not reveal the words to me, and now I must not speak with you what God has told me." And I knew then that I would rather have 100 deaths than one moment of envy. I was ready to die. And so I surrendered my soul to God. And when God knew that Moses was ready to die, he called to the angel Gabriel, and he said, "Go down and get me the soul of Moses." Gabriel said, "How can I take the soul of one who has made so many miracles? When Adam sinned, you took the glory from him and placed it on Moses, whom you love." Said the Holy One, "I also love Noah for his righteousness and simplicity, and he died. But Noah, he only saved himself and the animals and his family. But Moses saved an entire nation." Said the Holy One, "I also loved Abraham. He was a kind and a generous man." Said Gabriel, "Yes, Abraham was generous and gave food to the poor, but that was in a civilized land. Moses fed an entire people in the wilderness for 40 years. Nevertheless," said the Holy One, "every human being must die." Then said Gabriel, "Give this mission to someone else." So the Holy One went to the angel Michael and said, "Go and bring me the soul of Moses." And Michael said, "How can I bring his soul, whom you yourself have compared to 60 myriad of people?" The Holy One went to the angel Zagzagel and said, "Go and bring me the soul of Moses." Zagzagel said, "O Holy Master, when Moses came to the heavens to receive the Holy Torah, I was his teacher. He was my disciple. How can I take his soul?" So the Holy One went to the angel Samael and said, "Go down and bring me the soul of Moses." Samael, the angel of death, rejoiced in this mission. He clothed himself in anger. He girded on his sword and wrapped himself in ruthlessness and descended down to face Moses. And when Samael came down to Moses, the radiance that shone from Moses' face was stronger than the sun, and Samael drew back in terror. "Evil one, what do you want?" "Moses," said Samael, "I've come for your soul." "Well, go away. I am busy praising the glory of God." Said Samael, "God has others to sing his praises. The heavens will declare the glory of God." Said Moses, I will silence the heavens." Samael said, "Moses, since the beginning of time, every soul has been delivered into my hands. Give me your soul." And I said, "Go away. I will not give you my soul." Samael withdrew in terror and went back up to the Holy One and said he could not face me. The Holy One was angry and said, "Go back and bring Moses' soul." So Samael wrapped himself in cruelty. He withdrew his sword and he descended to me in a towering fury. And I took that rod that had God's ineffable name graven upon it. And when he came near me, I smote him and I blinded him. Said the Holy One to me, Moses, your time has come to leave this world. I said, Master of the universe, Master, remember how you revealed yourself to me in the burning bush? Remember how I stood on that mountain for 40 days and 40 nights to receive your holy law? I pray you, do not give my soul to Samael. And the Holy One said to me, Moses, be comforted. I myself will take your soul. I will bury you myself. So I said, wait a moment. I must bless the people. And I began to bless each of the 12 tribes separately. But when I saw time was running short, I made one blessing for all. And then I turned to the people and I said, because of this Torah and all its laws, I have made your life full of trouble and hard. Will you forgive me? And they said, Moses, you are forgiven. You are forgiven, but we have made your life so hard. We have made your burden heavy, Moses. Moses, will you forgive us? And I said, you are forgiven. And the Holy One told me again my time had come. So I washed my hands and my feet to make them pure. And then Gabriel prepared the couch. Michael put a cloth at the head and Zagzagel at the foot. I laid down on the couch. Gabriel stood on my left, Michael on my right. Zagzagel knelt at my feet, and the Holy Spirit hovered over me. And the Holy One told me to close my eyes, so I did. The Holy One told me to put my hand over my heart, so I did. The Holy One told me to bring my feet together, so I did. And then the Holy One addressed Moses' soul. Daughter, for 120 years you have inhabited this pure body of dust. Now is your time come to fly into paradise. The soul said, O Master of the universe, God of all souls, Creator of all spirits, I know you have created me and placed me into this pure body. Tell me, is there anyone on earth as righteous and good as this man? Over these 120 years, I have grown to love Moses, and I do not wish to leave this body. The Holy One said, Daughter, do not hesitate, but fly away now. I have a place for you in the highest
heaven of all the heavens, beside the throne of glory, surrounded by cherubim and seraphim. And with that, God kissed Moses, and with that kiss, took his soul. And the Holy One wept and said, "Never has there arisen in all of Israel a prophet like Moses." And the heavens wept and said, "This godly man is perished from earth." And the earth wept and said, "The upright among men is no more." And the angels wept and said, "He was righteousness of God." And Israel wept and said, "We have his laws." And it is said that Moses rested on that couch and entered in peace. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Avinu, 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 Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Please help me. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Avinu, 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 Avinu. And God bless you.